Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, we're going to talk about this Vols loss. They lost again last night, last second shot. We're going to be talking about that, and you can't be serious, but I am. Also, we're going to talk about the SEC dominating the college football playoff scene, and I don't think there's much question that this 12-team playoff is just going to become an SEC tournament when it's all said and done, and we're going to get into why that is. But let's start out with this craziness that happened last night. We're playing Missouri. We've come back, a great comeback. We were down 14 points at one point, and then we go up. We've got a 2-point lead. We've got our best free throw clutch shooter, which is Vescovi. Last year, he never missed when he needed it. He misses his shots. They come down with less than 4 seconds and somehow score with less than a second to go from about 40 feet. Just drains it all net. Exactly the same thing that happened against Vanderbilt. I mean, exactly the same thing.
Identical.
Exactly. Identical. It was ridiculous. And when that ball went up in the air, I was like, we just went through this with Vandy. First of all, I'm thinking there's no way Vescovi misses both of those. And I know there was a foul on Awaka there on the second one, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but he missed it anyway. And he threw that ball up, and I was like, there's literally no way that happens twice. This is just not going to happen. It happened.
Look, you can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Yep, I'm serious. It happened. It was unbelievable. It was just crazy. I mean, it was a 1 in a million to have that happen twice in a week. And I had one of my buddies that sent me a text. He said he was watching ESPN, and it was the shots of the week. And number 1 and number 2, guess what they were? That's right. The Vols getting beat in both games were the top 2 plays of the week.
Man, aren't I the popular one?
Yep, we're real popular. I mean, sometimes you just have bad luck. But let's talk a little bit more about the game, get into the stats. All right, as we look, still can't believe they beat us when it just looked like the game was so over. Anyway, Brown was a real problem. He played a great game, scored 21 on us. We almost got him fouled out at one point, but we didn't quite get him fouled out. We did get Hodge fouled out and another fella. They were hitting their three-pointers. They shot 53% from three-point land, which is just fantastic, and 52% overall. But that was scary good from the three-point line. There was a period there where they must have made 5 or 6 in a row. I mean, they were throwing up from deep, too. I mean, some of them were like 5 feet away from the line, and they were still swishing them. But in the second half, we got back on our game, and Key played a great game. He scored 23 points, which is probably, I'm sure for Tennessee, that's his career high. He was 5 for 9 from the three-point line, and the Vols shot 43% from 3, so that's pretty good, and 45% overall. And also some other players. Vescovi actually had a good game. He scored 16. He'd love to have those free throws again, I'm sure. Ziegler played okay, pretty good. He did foul out on a really bad foul, and we needed him at the end to help control the ball, and that made it a little bit difficult. That's when the coach got real mad at him for that last kind of foolish foul. And then Awaka only played 16 minutes. We need to talk about this. Awaka didn't play in the first half, and we got bullied. We were absolutely bullied by Missouri in the first half, and they put Awaka in the second half inside. You know, he's 6'8", 250 pounds. You're not going to bully that guy. And as soon as they put him in, the bullying stopped right then and there. So I don't understand why he's not playing more, because his presence inside, first of all, he's a great rebounder. Every time he's in there, he gets the rebound. He plays fantastic defense, and he's an okay scorer for a freshman, especially a 6'8" freshman. So I'm surprised he only played 16 minutes. He should have played about probably 25 minutes, and I think this game might have gone a little bit different. I'm not sure I understand why. I mean, he gets a rebound every 2 minutes. You put him in for 20 minutes, he gets 10 rebounds. You put him in for 30, you probably get 15. I mean, that's just how the guy plays. He just gobbles them up. So hopefully we'll get to see more of Awaka. Now, I've seen some bad luck stretches for a team, but I've never seen something like that where you're literally shooting free throws to finish the game with probably your best free throw shooter, and he misses them 2 games in a row, and then they go down and fluke in a three-pointer with less than a second to go. I mean, that's got to be a first time ever for the Vols. I know it's the first time I've ever seen it. It's almost shocking. But look, it's just sometimes you get some things going against you. We should have won both those games. There's absolutely no question. It's probably 1 out of 1,000 that would happen twice. It happened. Now let's talk about the college football playoff. As you know, in 2024, we're going to 12 teams. And before anybody says that makes the regular season not important and all that because, you know, they don't want change. And I understand, look, a lot of people are traditionalists. They don't want change. And I get that.
I'm a grumpy old man. I don't like everything the way it is now compared to the way it used to be.
Yep, they're kind of like, and that's okay. Look, I don't blame them for feeling that way. I just don't agree with it. Now, here's why I think the regular season really still matters a lot. First of all, the teams that finish top 4, they get a bye. Okay, so it's really not a 12-team playoff. It's an 8-team playoff for them. Okay, it's not like they're having to play an extra 2 games. They will have to play 1 extra game, but not 2. If you're in 5 through 8 or 9 through 12, you're going to have to play 2 extra games. And here's the other kicker. If you finish 5, 6, 7, or 8, you get home field advantage against 9, 10, 11, and 12. So again, finishing 5 through 8 is really important. For example, this year, we would have played our first playoff game. We would have been like probably 6th or 7th in the country. We'd have played 11 or 12 at Neyland. Imagine that chaos. That would be the most raucous. I mean, it'd make Alabama look like kind of a calm game. So that would have been super exciting and fun. So the regular season still matters a ton because you could get a bye or you can get home field advantage. So those are 2 huge things. Now understand, Texas and Oklahoma are coming into an already vaunted conference. Look, the SEC is the best conference in the country, and everybody knows it. And if you don't think that, then you're just living in fantasy land, and nobody really cares anyway.
Haven't you noticed? You gotta be a man to play in my league.
Listen to JR. He knows. Got to be a man to play in the SEC. Anyway, I think the SEC is going to dominate this playoff. Now, look, we already dominate national championships, whether it's been Alabama, Georgia recently, LSU's had a bunch, and on down the line. But with this 12 team, now Tennessee is going to be a problem for a lot of teams because that's a team you don't want to play. Because we, as I've said, we are very dangerous. We can throw 50 on you like that. I don't care how good your defense is. The only defense that we struggled with all year last year was Georgia, and that's it. Everybody else we scored on no problem, including Alabama. So I think there's going to be a lot of finals where it's going to be 2 SEC teams. They might have to start pairing up SEC against SEC in the top 12 just to try to eliminate some of the SEC teams so you don't wind up with SEC versus SEC, which is what I think is going to happen a lot because LSU is on the come-uppance. They've got a good coach. Their recruiting base is phenomenal, and I think they're going to be tough to handle. You've got Tennessee on the rise, obviously. Alabama and Georgia, of course, have been the top 2 teams in the country for the last umpteen years. And now you got Texas and Oklahoma joining in. So the domination is going to continue, and like I say, the rich just get richer because the SEC is the most profitable conference in the country too because when they go in front of ESPN or whoever they're going to negotiate with, they're going to get whatever they want because the competition for SEC teams is just that high. You know, it's just the cream of the crop, and everybody knows it. So I can definitely smell some domination coming down the pike.
What the Rock is cooking.
That's right. The Rock knows. The Rock always knows. And no more losses at the last second. That's got to stop. Hit our free throws and end it. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. It lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and the SEC and all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Be sure to smack that button. Costs you nothing, helps me out, and I would appreciate it. Just boom, and you're done. And right over here, YouTube puts my most recent video. Pretty popular. Be sure to check that out. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.